I would just like to start off this video by saying this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor. I understand the stigma around the content I am going to talk about, and please do your own research if you would like to learn more about it and to take this further, but please enjoy this video. Hey guys, it's Maddie and welcome back to my channel. I have a very exciting video to share with you today, and that is my experience in microdosing psilocybin. How do I pronounce psilocybin? Psilocybin, that's how you pronounce it. I'm kind of nervous to make this video, honestly, because I don't know how it's gonna go over. It's kind of like a touchy gray area subject. You may recognize psilocybin as magic mushrooms because that is the active ingredient that makes those mushrooms magical. And what microdosing is it is taking a very, very small amount of the active ingredient. I think it's actually about 1/10 of a full dose, where like a full dose would give you the hallucinations and is more of the psychedelic, where the microdosing gives you the same benefits, but you're not hallucinating. You don't have the visual or the audio hallucinations, and you are like very aware of what's going on still. There are just like some underlying effects that are happening. So I have done a full week's worth of microdosing. I am on my off phase right now. That's just what I'm calling it. I don't know if that's an actual term, but that's what I'm going to be referring to it as. Why I am taking the psilocybin is for depression and anxiety, and to help me focus and just unlock some more creative aspects of myself, and to really tap into those characteristics of me that I want to explore further. I have severe social anxiety. I just have generalized anxiety and also depression. And the psilocybin can help create new pathways in your brain and kind of release some of those blocks, from my understanding. Well, how I kind of think of it as, when you go through different experiences in life, a lot of like roadblocks get put up onto different pathways and can block you from getting out of and breaking different cycles and habit loops that you find yourself stuck in. So for me, for example, one of the habits and loops I get stuck in is like overthinking and replaying conversations in my head. And I really hope that by taking these microdosing experiences, it will help me find new pathways to get out of those spiraling episodes and to be able to cut myself off instead of going down that same rabbit hole time and time again. And then creativity, I really want to dive more into making YouTube videos and creating new content and different content and making it unique to me. And I hope this will help me unlock that in me. I also struggle a bit with like ADHD and stuff, as it seems everyone does right now, but I want to be able to focus on my tasks and to completely dive into them and not be redirected every 2 minutes onto something else where my focus is taken away from the task I'm doing. And then for anxiety, just getting over that social hump and to just take away all of my things that are limiting me, all of my limiting beliefs about myself, and to just kind of shake it off and just stop really caring about how other people perceive me, and just to find that confidence in myself. I'm taking it for a lot of like interpersonal work and to work on myself, not so much for like the tripping aspect of it, like having the hallucinations and stuff. I guess we'll get into how I microdosed and some of the effects I noticed. So the program, the schedule that I'm following right now is 4 days on and 3 days off. So Saturday, April 20th was the first time I took my microdosing, and it was just a 100 milligram capsule, and the strain was Golden Teacher. I took it at about 7:30 in the morning, and it takes around 45 minutes to really kick in and to start feeling the effects. And quite honestly, there was never a point where I'm like, oh my God, I feel it. I really, really feel it. I never had that. It didn't feel like I was hitting a brick wall and all of a sudden was like overcome with this rush of feeling like a high or anything. To be honest, I didn't really feel a whole lot. There was no body sensations in my mind, and I know it's kind of a debate whether mushrooms are like a placebo effect or if they are actually true in what they do and their effects, how legit they are. But I was never really aware that I was taking this dosing, if that makes sense. but I felt myself having a lot less, I don't want to keep using the word blocks. I need to find like a new word. But I felt like I just could do things. I had the push to be social. I was in a new social situation the first day I took it, which it was fine for me because I didn't have a negative experience. But if this is your first time taking it and you're a little bit anxious, maybe find a day where you don't have anything going on. But I noticed when I was being social, I just didn't have any inhibitions. I wasn't really overthinking things. I just did it, and I was very, very present in the moment and just could appreciate what was going around me. And I was just happy to be there. Like, I was just really happy. I could have conversations, especially with like my partner. I was able to like bring up topics that I typically wouldn't. I just didn't care, if that makes sense, in the best way possible. I just did the things. I didn't really think twice about it. I just acted on it, and not like a negative impulse act. I just was able to follow through with any thoughts that I had. I think that's one of the biggest benefits I noticed, is that I was able just to be present and be where I was. I wasn't so caught up in my head. I wasn't so taken over by my own thoughts and the spiraling. I was just existing. Another huge thing I noticed is no food noise. I know I've talked about this before on my channel, but I really struggled, still trying to figure it out. But I dealt a lot with binge eating and overeating and being consumed by food thoughts. And when I'm microdosing, all of that is gone. I don't think about food. I notice when I'm hungry, but it's not consuming me, which is so wild. I don't know the last time I experienced this, where I could just go throughout my day. Sorry, Blue is whining beside me. Where I could just go throughout my day, become aware I'm hungry, go find something to eat, and then move on. It's wild. And if you have ever gone through something like this, it is so peaceful not to have like that background buzz of food and thinking, I need to eat. What am I gonna eat? What's the next meal gonna be? When can I eat next? It is crazy. And I kind of just also had a realization, like, who cares what people think about me? Who cares? I've been doing a lot of like interpersonal work on this as well. A lot of journaling about how other people perceive me and not giving a fuck about it. But when I was microdosing, it really allowed me to step back and away from myself and kind of remove emotions from situations and just look at it more logically and be like, no one cares about me. No one cares as much as I think they do, in good ways. Like, not like a big like, oh fuck it, like I'm going down a depression hole, like nobody cares about me, no one cares. I mean it in a good way. Like, no one cares about the things I think they care about, and I am no different than anyone else. Like, everyone else has things going on in their own lives and their own demons that they're fighting, and mine are no more important than theirs. It's a wild concept. Like, I can sit here and say all of this to you, but once you have that realization and those pieces click, it is like, it's crazy. I did journal a little bit about it just because I wanted to keep track of what days I was taking it and when my off days are. And the reason why you want to stagger this is so you don't build up too much of a tolerance and like a resistance to the microdosing. So that's why it's important to do your on and off days, but you'll find a schedule that works for you. Like, maybe it's every other day, or 2 days on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 2 days off, whatever it works. You're gonna have to kind of play around with it a little bit and see what works for you, because it's very, very personalized to each individual. One thing I did note after the second day I took it was just being open to new possibilities and having like a new unlocked confidence in going forward in my future. I want to preface this again, like this is only my first week of taking it, so I'm still getting used to it. I know I'm gonna have my down days. I don't want to come across like, oh, this is life-changing, I'm never gonna be sad again, I'm never gonna go through hard things. I'm going to, and I know I'm going to, but right now I just want to share the highlights. Like, I know I'm riding like that high of a new thing going on in my life, but I know it's not completely earth-shattering that this is the new end-all be-all, this will fix everyone. I want to just interject that here. I just feel more easygoing and more go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. I don't need to plan everything to the nth degree. It's just kind of going with it and not being so stuck on a schedule, which is a very, very freeing feeling. Anyways, that is my first week of microdosing. I have had a great time. I never tripped balls. I was never like completely like taken back and like seeing like those tie-dye, like, what are those called? Kaleidoscope images. Like nothing was like moving at me. It was just a very enjoyable time and I really enjoyed it, and I'm hopeful. I'm gonna try to play around with my dosing at some point once I get more used to it and find what works for me. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I guess I should have also said I have never taken a full dose of shrooms before. I have never microdosed. I have never played around with any of it. So this was my very first time experiencing psychedelics, psilocybin, magic mushrooms, whatever you want to call it. It was a great experience, but I know it won't be for everyone. So take this information, do your own research, do with it as you will. Just wanted to put it out there. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.